And welcome to the Will to Win podcast. This is episode 3, my weekly exercise plan. And again, it's Alex Muir helping millennial professionals reach peak mental and physical performance. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about my weekly exercise plan. Now, this is part of a 7-part series where I delve into some of my key takeaways and routines from the year 2019. In the previous episode, I talked about daily meditation, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about exercise and my weekly exercise routine. Now, I've done a lot of different exercise routines over the years. I've never really done my own routine. I've always picked up tips from other people that I look up to that are like kind of, I would say, my silent mentors, if you will. So to kind of give you guys some context into what kind of exercise I like to do, I always have liked to do frequent exercise. And over the last few years, it's really evolved. It started off by going flat out 100%, 5-6 days a week. And that was doing one or two body parts per day. So initially, when I was first starting off my training, I actually let's back up even further. When I first started off training, like day one, all I did was 100 push-ups a day and bicep curls with 10 to 15 pound dumbbells. That's all I did, and I started doing that when I was about 12 years old, or earlier than that, 10 or 11. That's when I really started to grow my chest because my dad always taught me when I was younger, you need a solid foundation from the top down. Because I was playing lacrosse at the time, I played lacrosse for a number of years, box lacrosse. It's similar to hockey, but again, no skates. They call it the fastest game on 2 feet because you're running and you got running shoes and you have a stick and then it has like a mesh in it, and then like you pass the ball and shoot the ball, and the lacrosse ball literally feels like a rock being thrown at you. It's a really hard, dense rock like ball. It's really interesting. It's pretty funny, but anyway, so my dad taught me that push-ups were king for building a foundation from the top down, building that very strong upper body. And although I was very, very light and very fast, lots of speed, when I was younger, because I had to be, because my role wasn't a goal scorer. My role was a defensive stopper, and I was a clutch player. I would occasionally score the goals when we needed them, but I needed to defend. So my dad taught me, because he was a defender as well, you need to build up your chest and your arms. So I just did, I would say from age 10 to 16 was literally just straight push-ups and bicep curls. That was my workout routine for like, I'd say 4 to 6 years. Now, the issue with that, although I built tremendous strength because all I did was body weight and a little bit of weights because my body was still catching up and I wasn't really ready yet for weights, I really didn't start getting into weight training until age 17, in about grade 11 or 12. And once I started to get into the weight training, what I noticed was I was very strong in some upper body movements, but very lagging in some lower body movements and other movements, which I didn't emphasize enough. So that's how I started off. I started off with um, doing the push-ups every single day, 100 push-ups or 50 push-ups, 50 to 100 push-ups a day. Bicep curls, I would say 2 sets in the morning and then 2 sets at night. Just kept it very simple. Just straight hammer curls or double bicep curls. And then once I hit age 17, then I really started to get into more compound lifts. So what I mean by compound lifts is your main lifts that utilize all of your muscles. So if you're, let's say, doing a bench press, your bench press is literally using the muscles from up above the belly button, let's say, for example. So if you were to cut off your torso from the belly button up, then everything from the belly button up is like you're working your shoulders, your triceps, your chest, your arms. It's an all-in-one movement. So that's what I started to really learn about was the all-in-one movements with the compound exercises. So I started to do because I never really had a routine, so I had to learn from other people. And I met this guy in high school, and he taught me how to really develop a workout routine, and that's when I started to really develop my other lagging body parts, my other muscles that were kind of lagging, because I had the strength for the upper body, but again, I still had my smaller muscles that needed to be worked. So I built my routine when I was 17, and that's when I started to do um, chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs, abs, and calves, like a routine like that. And it was kind of similar to a push-pull legs split. And basically, all that routine is, and that's pretty much all I've ever really done. 5 days a week when I was 17, I was just going flat out because I was playing basketball, lacrosse, and soccer, but I didn't want to lift too heavy because I've always had a wiry frame, and I always needed that speed. So I lifted always light to moderate weight, and over time I was able to do a lot more weight because I stopped playing sports. But while I was playing sports, it was 5, 6 days a week, and I was doing cardio just as many days as I was lifting. So I would say I was doing cardio, like running, just running, a shit ton of running when I was 16, 17. And then I did, yeah, 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week of weights. And that was the push pull legs routine or chest, triceps, back, biceps, legs, abs, and calves. And that routine worked really well for me for a few years. And I've always kind of tweaked it slightly. Um, I did the push pull leg split. I did the powerlifting routine, or there's an app called Strong Lifts, and I downloaded that a couple of years back when I was 19. Once I hit age 19, that's when I'm like, okay, I want to gain some weight. I'm not playing sports anymore. Sport. I'm not trying to make the professionals or anything like that or college ball. So now I can really focus on really getting into bodybuilding, and you know, that's kind of what developed my passion more for bodybuilding. Although I've never competed, I'm just incredibly passionate about, building an awesome body and, a full functioning body, like from weights. Because the thing with weight training is that's all on you. If you put in the time in the gym and if you put in the time in your nutrition, you're getting enough sleep, you're stretching, you're getting your cardio in, you're gonna look pretty damn good if you keep up with that, and that's all I did because that's all I did from age 19 to like 25. I've just been obsessed since I was young of having a great body. And it all actually stemmed from being dead last in my, yeah, on my first sports teams that I was on for lacrosse. Always was dead last in our runs, and I never forgot that because I swore to myself, I will never be last again. That will not be me. I will either be, I'll either be first or yeah, I will always be in the top three. Is what I told myself. Or I'm either first or I'm in the top three, and that's what that experience when I was really young. I was only 9 years old playing lacrosse, and I was always last. So that's kind of what drove me to being so consistent and so disciplined with the bodybuilding. Because the thing with bodybuilding and having a workout routine is it builds tremendous confidence. Your self-esteem skyrockets over time. Over time, the more consistent you are, and the second that you start seeing results, then the results might not come right away, but as soon as you do start seeing those results, you're going to feel incredible. Your confidence will rise, your self-esteem will rise, and not to mention you're building a fantastic body. And when you're building a fantastic body and you've been developing this discipline over a number of years with not only with the training but with the nutrition, you're it sets you apart. It sets you apart. You develop a presence, and people respect you. They respect you, and they're like, oh my God, like, this guy's disciplined. You can tell, right? Because it shows the way you walk or the way you talk. You just exude more confidence. Now, that's not the case for everyone. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that lift weights a lot and they actually have the least amount of confidence. They're actually very insecure. And although they might have a great body, they're not there yet mentally. So don't kid yourself that the people that also look really good, they've got their struggles too. They're not always the most confident. So don't kid yourself there because everyone's at a different point in their life, and whenever you start training, it's always good to yeah, it's always good to it's all about building that foundation and building the habit, and that's the coolest thing about having a weekly exercise regime. It's whatever you want it to be. It's if you prefer more cardio and a little bit of weights, that works. If you prefer lots of cardio and little weights, that works too. So it all depends on what you want to do. But I would say, yeah, the powerlifting routine was something that I really enjoyed because it's so simplistic. It's just your compound lifts. The Strong Lifts app basically is just doing um, the Strong Lifts app is just basically doing, yeah, your bench press, your deadlift, and your squat, or your bench press, your standing press. Standing press is like you're doing like a standing shoulder press, but with a barbell, and a barbell is just a straight bar with the weights added on. So, but you're doing shoulder press standing, and the beautiful thing about doing a powerlifting routine like that and just focusing on the compound lifts is you can get very, very strong quite quickly. As long as you're utilizing enough rest, and I'll be the one to admit I didn't take enough rest by first starting off powerlifting, and I got I got injured pretty quick. So make sure that you're resting long enough. And I highly recommend resting if you're as soon as you get to a weight that's starting to get quite heavy. And again, you're only doing 5 reps, 5 sets of 5 reps. That's why they call it the Strong Lift 5x5 routine. It's an excellent routine if you're a beginner weightlifter and you want to learn how to get the movements down. Highly recommend it to anyone that's starting the gym or seasoned vets or intermediate lifters that are just trying to build up some strength and they're just lagging. They feel they're lagging in their compound lifts. I highly recommend that routine. You can get the app on Android or iPhone, and it's called the Strong Lifts 5x5. And that's all it is. 3 exercises, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's just 3 days a week, and you can get in an insane weightlifting routine just with 3 days a week. But just keep in mind, if you're gonna lift really heavy like that, you gotta spend a lot of time recovering too, like because your muscles break down quite a bit when you're lifting that heavy. And I've had a few times where I've injured myself because I wasn't doing the cool down long enough, so I wasn't doing my post workout stretching enough, and you you definitely pay the price if you're not keeping your mobility up when you're doing the heavy lifting. But if you want to increase your lifts, highly recommend the Strong Lifts routine. And I maxed out my lifts um, recently over the last 8 months. I stopped doing the powerlifting routine, I'd say 4 to 6 months ago, but I did peak at a 185 front squat, so a 3 plate, 315 deadlift, and 235-pound bench press. So that's just 2 plates and then 2 plates and then 2 5s, or a 5 pounder on either side. So 235 for bench press, 315 for deadlift, 185 for front squat, and I think I got up to 170-pound standing press again for 5 reps. So those are all for 5 reps. That's to give you an idea of what's possible with a powerlifting routine. So we've gone over push pull leg split, or similar to the push pull leg split, which is pretty much the same thing. Chest and triceps on one day, back and biceps on another day, and and then legs, abs, and calves. So basically, if you're doing a 5-day split with that routine, you're just going to work your upper body and lower body twice a week. So, and then throw in some cardio in there if you can. And then next routine that I've done, HIIT training. And HIIT training, all that is high intensity interval training. It's just an acronym for that. And that's what I did when I didn't want to have a gym membership. I wanted to save money. I did it for an entire year, age 20 to 21 or age 19 to 20. That's all I did was HIIT training. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to spend $50 a month on a gym membership. Let's see what I can learn on YouTube. So I took that time. I went on YouTube, did some extensive research, and I got insanely ripped off of doing just 20 to 30 minute high intensity interval training sessions. And I did those about 5 to 6 days a week at the time. And that's when I went really intense on my diet as well. I learned how to do handstands. I did some crazy, I just got crazy mobility from doing that during that time. That whole year, I was really developing like my stamina quite a bit, because when you're doing HIIT training, you really are working like all of your muscles all the time in most of the movements. So they're amazing if you want a day off the gym and you just want to do some HIIT training. Excellent way to condense a workout, cut that basically in half, or even a third of a workout. So you're getting your workout done in a fraction of the time, but you're reaping the benefits because there's something called the afterburn effect, or EPOC. So that's where your body's still burning calories 24 to 48 hours after you train. And it is possible when you're doing the HIIT training that this can happen, because you're maximizing your heart rate throughout the entire workout, and you're sweating constantly, and it's just from one movement to the next with little to no rest. So highly recommend that for anyone that's pressed for time. They don't really want to spend too much time in the gym. I am one of those kind of people, like I can hardly spend 45 minutes to an hour nowadays. I'm just like, because sometimes you get busy, and because I'm trying to develop an online business, it's much busier now. And because I'm trying to provide content and keep up with the content schedule, some days you only got half an hour or 15 minutes, and some days you don't even have that. Some days you've only got 7 minutes. So those are to give you an idea of some of the routines that I've utilized. So again, push pull leg split, powerlifting routine with just 3 exercises, 3 days a week, 5 reps, 5 sets of 5 reps with the Strong Lifts app. And number 3 is HIIT training. HIIT training, again, high intensity interval training. And then I'm trying to think of, and then I'd say the fourth one that you can do, but it's mainly for roid monkeys, or people that are on steroids, which I'm a natural lifter, so I don't take any enhancing drugs like steroids. But I have done the bro split, they call it, or the bodybuilding split workout routine, where you're doing one body part per day. So chest, shoulders, arms, legs, calves, where you're breaking all your body parts into one, and you're just exercising that one body part full tilt for that day. I have tried that routine, but because I'm a natural lifter, I need the frequency. When you're a natural lifter, you need to be in the gym more often, because our muscles do recover pretty quick. But if you're on steroids, you can recover way faster. So you can do chest like twice a day if you want, but that's not the case with natural lifters. Natural lifters need to have more frequency, need to be in the gym more, but they need to actually work out like not as intense. You can't, because of recovery. If you're a natural lifter, you need to get that recovery in too. It's always in this sequence: repair, recover, or So your muscle breaks down, and then you repair. Break down, repair, break down, repair. Always in that sequence. So you're in the gym, you're breaking down your muscle, and then you need to recover. You need to speed up your recovery. So, and a few key ways to do that that I've learned is doing yoga, or doing some sort of post-workout stretch for at least 5 to 7 minutes. Sometimes if I'm really stiff, I'll have to do like 10 minutes, but I don't do that consistently. I got to keep it between 5 and 7 minute cool down. So whether that's you're in the gym still, you're on the bike, you're just doing a cool down that way to get your heart rate back down, or if you're just doing light yoga when you get back home after the gym, those can work too. So so those are some of the weekly exercises or my workout exercise plan that I have done in the past. And my main one that I'm doing right now is a fat loss routine that my buddy wrote an ebook on, and I just picked up this routine. I just started it 2 weeks ago, and basically it supplements doing uh, full day fasts, either once a week or twice a week. So I gotta figure out like how to schedule that into my routine with work and my days off, the gym. And then it's basically, it's like 5 to 6 days a week, upper body, lower body. So working the upper body, lower body twice a week, plus doing high intensity interval training, cardio sessions twice a week. So yeah, so now it's kind of like a push pull leg split. Um, back to doing that again with the HIIT training cardio. So that's what I'm doing as of right now. And then I'm doing the full day, they call it full day intermittent fast. So I'm doing a full 24 hours or a full 24 to 48 hours to help speed up fat loss and lower my insulin resistance. Because that's what the cycling on and off the carbs and doing the full day fast do. It helps you lower your insulin resistance so you're less likely to store fat so easy. Because if our insulin resistance is high, that's when we're more predisposed to store fat. Because the second that we eat a ton of food, especially carbs, that's when we're very carb sensitive. So in order to lower that back down, we have to revamp our nutrition and do basically nutrition recomposition. So that's just basically cycling back the carbs, cut the carbs way back. If you're used to having a lot of carbs or 200 to 300 grams of carbs a day, cut that in half. And then as you've been doing that for a while, then you gotta combine the fasting in there. And then also during the day, I don't have my carbs now until the afternoon. So either after lunch or around, so at lunch, 12:30 or at 2 p.m. So I'm aiming to have carbs not until the afternoon. And basically I'm utilizing fats. So fats like olive oil, coconut oil, peanut butter, and like trail mix nuts to help me stave off hunger longer and to give me the energy until I have my carbs in the afternoon. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. And again, hope you guys all enjoyed this podcast. This is Alex Muir, helping millennial professionals reach peak mental and physical performance. And this is my weekly exercise plan. So if you guys have any questions, comments, let me know in the show notes. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast. All right. Bye for now.